Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe vom SI Talk. Ich bin nach wie vor in Wien bei der Gold and Silver Network Night vom Jochen Steiger und Commodity TV. Vorab noch Informationen zu dieser Company finden Sie auch ein Site-Visit, also wo man das Projekt besucht hat, beziehungsweise die Mine, muss man ja sagen. Ich werde den Link auch unten dazu stellen, sodass Sie das dementsprechend anschauen können. So, was für eine Company haben wir? Comstock, Sie sehen es hier hinten, Comstock Mining. Und für all diejenigen, die es einmal ganz lange wissen wollen, vor 3-4 Jahren habe ich schon mal ein Interview mit Corrado geführt. Es ist schon 3-4 Jahre aus. Und es freut mich wirklich, ihn in Wien zu sehen. Corrado, thank you to see you in Vienna. It was really a funny thing. Then we have our first interview 3-4 years ago, that we do this through Skype. And your company is also listed on New York under the symbol is LODE, L-O-D-E, und in Deutschland unter dem WKN A0YG7J, so dass ich es rausbringe. So, und thank you to have time for me. And what's happened in the last 4 years? What you're doing in the last?
It's tremendous. Well, thank you for having me. First of all, we've done so much, right? We've consolidated an entire district. We've rezoned all of the lands. We've built an infrastructure. We've built facilities. We've built a permitted platform. And we've just finished our 3.5 years of first phase of mining successfully. And we're looking now to go from being a relatively small producer to a much larger producer, from higher grades and 2 mines supplying 1 central facility.
Okay. That's been phase 1, it's coming up to phase 2, but what does mean small production, what does mean higher production?
Yeah, so we produced about 20,000 ounces of gold per year the last 3 years. We produced about 250,000 ounces of silver per year the last 3 years, always at a lower and lower and lower cost. So now we've positioned the platform. We are targeting the second mine to be 40,000 ounces. It's called the Dayton. Better grades, better costs even. And the first mine we're transitioning, or we're targeting to transition to a much, much higher grade, going from, let's say, 1 gram per ton of gold to maybe 8 to 10 grams per ton of gold.
Wow.
Producing maybe 60,000 plus ounces per annum. We do need to still do some drilling and development, but we're very excited because together those two could do 100,000 ounces. We're targeting that over the next 2, maybe 2.5 years. So we're very excited to go to prove the platform, to build and permit all the facilities. We don't have permitting risk.
Also for the new stuff.
Yeah, because we're using 1 central operation, which is fully permitted.
Okay.
We do need 1 additional permit for the second mine so that we can connect it to the central facility. So then we're targeting the end of next year, early 2018. But the future is very bright for us going forward.
Wow, that sounds great. So from 20,000 to maybe 100,000 to 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So, and what this mean for the cost? At the moment you produce, I think, or I saw this in your presentation, with $750 around.
Yeah.
But what this mean with this 100,000? What do you expect?
So ultimately, the Dayton, the second mine, has higher grades, better metallurgy. We believe will be even lower cost than today. The underground, it's interesting. The underground has more development costs, more mining costs, but lower production and processing because it's higher grade, less tons. So hauling less, crushing less, processing less. We believe net, we should be similar to the current profile, if not maybe a little lower as we ramp up to the higher levels. So.
And what are the capex to do this?
So for the Dayton mine, the infrastructure is all in place. The only thing we need to do is spend a little money to connect the road from the mine to the central processing. It would be less than $2 million. for all of that infrastructure, 100% completed. The second mine, we do have some drilling and development costs for the underground. So we've already invested over $3 million. We already have 1,200 feet of underground tunneling. We've already done some very exciting underground drilling. So we just need to do more drilling. Right now, we're expecting about 3 to 3.5 million of drilling costs to be able to target the next production.
But this is funded by the cash flow what you have from the existing.
It's funded in part by the existing cash that we have, and we did just raise some money to ensure that. But also we don't have any. We've paid off our revolver, so we have some credit facilities also. So we have multiple sources of cash, and we're very excited to stabilize the company and then start to grow.
Okay. What I can remember was also that your share structure was a little bit
Complicated.
Complicated. Yeah, that's a good word.
Yes.
So what are you doing on this side?
So that's correct. In 2010, we recapitalized with complexity. We had preferred stock with a lot of complexity. In September of 2015, we fully cleaned that up. So now we have good institutional investor base, excellent, clean, common share structure, no complexity, no preferred stock. Everyone is the same. We don't have any warrants, no overhang. It's just clean. So we're very happy about that. We believe that has opened the door for a lot of new interest in our company, and we're getting a lot of new interest, a lot of investor interest, a lot of investor calls. I think a big part was cleaning the balance sheet. I think another part is we're starting to see gold turn, and so there's a combination of two things that's giving us good interest.
One point that was the share structure. It's really that it was a little bit, or it looks like when I look at your chart, is that you're underperforming a little bit in the last 6 months. And this coming from this
Exactly.
changing from this.
We had two things, really. We had an overhang, if you want to think of it like that, from the preferred stock structure. It was putting more pressure on us than the overall market. Once we changed that, it stabilized a little bit. And now with performance, we believe we have no ceiling, no overhang to get good improvement.
Corrado, I think this was a great introduction into your company. It was a few years ago when we spoke. Das war ein super Update von Comstock. Die Firma ist in einem sehr, sehr bekannten District. Also Comstock ist ja eigentlich das Herz von Nevada, kann man eigentlich sagen. Und die haben sozusagen es geschafft, den ganzen District eigentlich jetzt zu konsolidieren. Und jetzt geht es darum, mehr oder weniger die Produktion richtig aufzubauen. Die letzten 3 Jahre haben sie durchschnittlich 20.000 Unzen produziert. Die Kosten haben sie permanent gesenkt, sind jetzt irgendwo um die $750 Basis. Und jetzt geht es darum, dass sie mit ihren 2 neuen Minen, die sie haben, die sie in einer Anlage verarbeiten, die Produktion auf rund 100.000 Unzen erhöhen werden. Und mit diesem natürlich kommt man in eine Größenordnung rein, die natürlich extrem spannend wird für größere institutionelle Investoren. Und es ist halt auch eine Firma, die eine US-Firma ist, die in den USA produziert, und deswegen könnte das eine ganz spannende Story sein. Sie sind mit 80 Millionen nicht wirklich teuer bewertet für das, was sie haben, und für das auch, was die History und was das Potenzial des Projektes ist. Schauen Sie sich die Firma an. Company ist notiert unter dem Symbol LODE, LODE, in New York, und unter der WKN A0YG7J. Das war's aus Wien und von Comstock.